What would you do if someone you love suddenly stopped breathing or started choking? It's a question most of us hope we'll never have to answer. But when an emergency happens, every second counts. As women 50 plus, many of us care for grandchildren, spouses, aging parents, family members, and friends. Yet, many of us have never been trained in CPR, first aid, or how to use an AED. And for some of us, we're not even quite sure what an AED is. So today we're talking about life saving skills that can make all the difference when someone you love needs help most. Our guest has spent her career teaching people how to respond when every second counts. She's amazing, and you'll meet her in a moment. But first, we have to take a little break. Not to worry, though, we'll be back in a flash, a hot flash. Hey, lovies, the Ageless Glamour Girls Boutique is now open. We've got signature tees, totes, mugs, and more, all inspired by the bold, beautiful, brilliant women who make up this amazing community. So when you get a moment, stop by agelessglamourgirlsboutique.com and take a look around. I'd love to know what catches your eye. And as always, cheers to healthy aging and joyful living. Welcome back to the Ageless Glamour Girls podcast. I'm your host, Marqueeta Curtis-Haynes, founder and CEO of the lifestyle brand Ageless Glamour Girls, where we empower and celebrate women 50 plus on our ageless aging journey. Now, it's almost summertime. Some people already consider this summertime, and the living should be easy unless an emergency strikes. That said, today we are recognizing National CPR and AED Awareness Week with a conversation that could literally save a life. Now, my guest is Pamela Isom, President and CEO of ICE Safety Solutions. That's a Northern California based company that provides CPR, first aid, and AED training around the country, and so much more. Now, her clients include organizations such as Honda, the Golden State Warriors, Coca-Cola, and more. And her mission is helping people gain the skills and confidence to respond in an emergency. Now, she's an award winning CEO. And oh, yeah, a woman and minority owned business. Yes, please. Yay. Pam, welcome to the Ageless Glamour Girls podcast.
Good. Welcome. I'm so excited.
Same here. That makes two of us. So Pam, we're just gonna, start with the broader picture of ICE. Now I know what ICE stands for, but tell us what ICE stands for.
Yes, and it's a great question because ICE stands for in case of emergency. And we really have to articulate that because ICE doesn't have the best brand right now.
Yes, especially now, you really have to go.
Exactly, right.
That's so true.
Emergency. Uh,
Yes.
and our website is Get ICE, even
Yeah.
worse.
Yes. Yes. Get ICE. Right. Right.
Right, but it's Get in case of emergency.
I
So we're
love
a
that.
full service safety training company where we do training, products,
Mhm.
equipment to make sure people don't die.
Oh, crucial.
Yeah.
Very important brand. Very important. Now, um, before we get in, I mentioned it up front. I mentioned, CPR and AEDs, but tell me something before we get to that. I want to know your story, and I know everybody else wants to know your story as well. You actually were a biologist before becoming an entrepreneur. How did a biologist end up dedicating her life to helping people save lives?
Right. And if I could, or could I take it even one step back and say, when I was 16 years old, my twin brother, I have a twin,
Mhm.
um, we took CPR training to be a lifeguard, right? And
Right.
my dad, who was a big practical joker, after our
Mhm.
CPR class to be a lifeguard, he would walk around the house and go, oh, I think I have a heart attack. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, wow.
He was just joking around until one day he was hanging out of his window and he was heaving, right?
Mhm.
And I recognize all the signs, right, of heart attack, right? The difficulty breathing, and he was pale, and even for a Black man, he was fairly pale, and and then he goes down, and so me and my brother had to call 911 and jump in with everything that we had been trained to do, and my father survived.
Oh my gosh. Now, how were you guys again? Did you mention
16 years old.
16?
Yeah.
Lifesavers at 16.
Yeah.
That's
So that
amazing.
was when it kind of went off. So then I went to University of California at Davis. I became
Mhm.
a biologist, and then I went into heart research. So I would do heart research.
Research.
Yeah, researchers, and as a researcher, looking for obviously different medications for heart, and
Mhm.
then I would teach CPR on the weekend. So
Mhm.
that was kind of my like thing. And then after I
Mhm.
had my daughter, she was born early, and that's when I decided to start a company just teaching CPR and other safety services. Yeah,
Wow. That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
And here we are 27 years later.
And my daughter's 27. So my daughter's 27. My company is 27.
Oh my gosh. I love that. Wow. Love, 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 love that. Now, was there a moment in your career when you realize, wait a minute, this isn't just a career, it's my calling?
Yes, when I figured out this is my calling is I had taught a class, and probably like a month after the class, I get a call from a gentleman, and
Mhm.
he's like, "Hey Pam, I saved someone this morning." And I was like, "Oh, what? Who'd you save?" And he goes, "My son." And he, the night before, he came home from work and found his 1-year-old at the bottom of the pool.
Oh, horrifying. Oh my.
Little 1-year-old. And so he had to jump in, pull his 1-year-old out. His
Oh my.
teenager had left the sliding glass door open. And then he said he was doing CPR, called 911, was doing, the CPR. And then he goes, "Pam, I heard you." I go, "You heard me?" I go, "What did I say?" He goes, "You kept saying, 'You got this. You got this.'" I go, "I would say that."
Oh my
Um,
God, I have
his
chills.
his son survived, brought his son in to meet me. And so we actually started a wall of life. So there's a wall in our corporate office. It's a huge wall. And after someone performs the skill, we take pictures and write the story and we frame it. And it's a whole wall of life. Lives here today that wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for the training that I
Okay, this is the second time this conversation. I got chills already. So, I was going to ask you about that wall of life. So that's perfect. You already talked about it. So we're going to have to, yes, incorporate that video in there because that is amazing. Now, what a story! What an what an amazing story because you never know. You never know what's going to drive you to find your true passion in life.
yeah.
And what an important passion that you have. It's like,
Yeah.
wow. So let's back up a little bit because
Yeah.
we're going back to basics.
Okay.
What exactly is CPR?
Ooh, so great question. So we all see CPR on TV, right?
Mhm,
So it stands for cardiopulmonary resuscitation.
mhm,
But
mhm.
to be clear, it is not Baywatch where you're going to just, come out and do CPR. Let me bring my camera down, right? Where you do CPR, right?
Uh-huh.
And then the person like spontaneously gets up. Okay? It's
Okay.
it's not that at all. Okay. What
Mhm.
CPR is designed to do is to pump oxygenated blood to the brain. So we're trying to pump blood to
Uh-huh.
the brain
Okay.
until the paramedics, right? Or if your company has one or if you have one at home, until the defibrillator shocks the heart. Right.
Okay. Is that the AED, right?
This is, yeah,
Okay. I was going to ask you about the automated external defibrillator. Okay.
defibrillator. Yeah. So this starts the heart,
Mhm.
whereas CPR merely pumps blood to the brain.
Okay, so without getting into any more, lots of details. So you
Yeah,
start, that's your first plan of attack.
correct.
The CPR.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for that demonstration. See, I love it. You're ahead of me because I was going to ask you to do a little demonstration and show us your mannequins. Um, do they have names or you
Well,
just
I typically name them whoever is the last person to the training.
Ooh, got it. Got it. Nice, nice. Okay, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, I love it. Yeah, so Pam, I was doing a little research because I love research.
Yeah.
And I found that according to a study that suggested only about 18% of adults are currently trained in CPR. And surveys indicate up to 40% of us express interest in learning. What are your thoughts on those numbers?
Yeah, ironically, it's not higher. And one of the challenging things is it's not higher because
Mhm.
people can't find a class. They don't know where to get a class. Maybe it's on a Saturday and they're not available, right? So I think it's time. And that's why one of the things that we've done here at In Case Emergency is start providing online Zoom training. So it's not just an online class like traffic school. Like I'm on the Zoom and then I just have everybody grab a pillow or a stuffed animal and then we can do it in an hour, right?
Oh, I love.
So just making it more available.
Yes, making
Yeah,
it more available. And we are going to get into more of that later on too. And Pam is like, okay, I don't have 2 hours to talk with you. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
um, and
Yeah,
so
but I think that's the one. But I also want to ask, people are really afraid. They're afraid to do something wrong. So
Mhm.
I always say, like, as soon as someone goes down, right, you want to take a deep breath and then say, I got this,
Oh,
right? To give yourself that empowerment. And even when I do training, I never say, I'm going to train you to do CPR. I'm not going to train you to do anything, but I'm going to empower you to do everything. So it's an empowerment time together, not a training time together.
ooh, ooh, love that. Now, and I have a confession. I've never been trained in CPR. And as
Right.
I was preparing for this interview, I got to thinking, I'm like, who in my immediate family does anyone know CPR?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the answer is no.
Mhm.
So even in doing the research, I'm like, this is opening up my eyes to a lot. And I know I'm not alone in the families.
Right.
So, and we just talked about that. I was going to ask you, why do you think so many people never get trained? And one of the issues is because they don't know. There's no awareness, and you don't think about it until maybe an emergency happens, and then you start think about it, right?
Yeah. And the beauty about doing training, it's not just for CPR and keeping oxygenated blood moving to the brain,
Mhm.
but in these trainings, you're going to learn how to help somebody if they're choking, how to save yourself if you're choking,
Right,
right?
right.
What happens if somebody has a stroke? How do you recognize the signs of a stroke? Right. I just had a 25-year-old, it's actually my nephew, but he recognized his father was having a stroke, not because he was slurring his words. He wasn't slurring his words. He wasn't finishing his sentences. He said, son, can you pass me my vit? He couldn't say vitamin C. He just kept saying bite. Again, not slurring your words. But his son, who had taken a CPR class with me, recognized and immediately called 911 and got his dad to the hospital. They, took him there. But he was only in the hospital for 2 days because he didn't get the clot and he didn't get the paralysis because he got to the hospital so early.
Oh my God, what a blessing. What
Yeah.
a blessing. And you just said something very interesting about not only, we talk about choking and all that stuff, but you guys teach the basics of like how do you know if somebody, like you said, what are the signs of having a stroke?
Yeah.
What are the signs of having a heart attack?
Yeah.
I've been having issues with my arm and shoulder. And in the beginning, I was like, oh my God, for women, I think it's
Yeah.
the shoulder. I told my husband, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, just keep an eye on me. You just
Yeah.
never, you never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime you have pain
Mhm.
that's unusual, that goes for 2 minutes or longer, that is a symptom to call 911. So if your head is aching and it's been for 2 minutes and it won't let up, call 911. If you have like pain in either left or right shoulder and it goes for 2 minutes or longer, call 911. If you have indigestion and it goes for 2 minutes or longer and won't let up, call 911. If you can't feel your arm or feel your leg or feel your foot for 2 minutes or longer, call 911. So any unexplained pain that goes for 2 minutes or longer, we want you to call 911.
That is excellent. Thank you so much for that. That was, it's like you just broke it all down. I
Yeah,
appreciate that because my mind is just going. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
duly noted. You know, because you never know. Here again, you
Yeah,
never know.
and you don't want to go into denial. I had to call 911 for my mom. She kept saying, my shoulder hurts, my shoulder hurts. So got me a little stopwatch, right? And I timed it. And it was like 4 minutes, and she was still like complaining about her shoulders hurting. And it wouldn't let up. So I went ahead and called 911. And you know what she said when I was calling 911? She
Mhm.
goes, you and that CPR crap. Did you just call my job crap? Like, right? So I went ahead and placed a call, and she had an 80% blockage and in that artery. And she's not overweight. She's only like, barely 5'1", not
Mhm,
even 100 pounds,
mhm.
you know.
Wow.
So, and so she, survived that. So that's what I mean. Any unexplained pain that goes for 2 minutes or longer that won't let up, just call 911. And you know what? If you're wrong, the paramedics get there and they're like, oh, it's just indigestion. They
Mhm.
don't charge you anything. That costs $0. They walk away with no charge.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's yeah, good to know. And yeah, and here again, safety first, because you don't know,
Right.
though you just don't know what's happening. Um, and something else I wanted to ask you about was using that AED.
Yeah.
Now, is that the toughest part of your training? Teaching people?
No, it's actually the easiest part of
Oh,
it, right?
okay.
And you're going to see these everywhere. You're going to see them at your gym. You're going to see them in all of your county buildings. You're going to see them at your grandkids' school, right? At the colleges in the gym. As a matter of fact, if all of you remember, if you follow the Los Angeles Lakers basketball team,
Mhm.
LeBron James, his son, Bronny James, at practice at USC had a cardiac arrest, and he was saved with the automated external defibrillator or AED. Uh,
Mhm.
and same with Damar Hamlin, right? The
Mhm.
football player that had a cardiac arrest in the
Yes, yes. Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it's literally so incredibly easy, right? All
Mhm.
you have to do is unzip it,
Mhm.
open it up, and it's a really simple on and off button, right? So all you do, right, is turn it on. Okay. So let me turn it on here. Okay.
Apply pads to patient's bare chest. Plug in pads connector next to flashing light.
Okay. So
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and get the pads out. And
Mhm.
as they have icons
Apply
on them,
pads. Plug in connector.
and it nags at you. Okay.
Okay.
Then you would go ahead and put them on the patient. I'm going to keep him standing up just so all of your viewers can see. But
Okay, but otherwise, they're always should
Plug
be
in
lying
connector.
down.
yeah,
Laying down.
they
Uh-huh.
should be lying down. I'm
Mhm.
actually going to do it on myself just because I really want your viewers to see. But
Okay.
one is going to go on the upper right
Apply
collarbone.
pads. Insert
Mhm.
connector firmly.
It nags. Okay. And
Mhm.
one is on the upper right
Okay.
collarbone here. And then
Uh-huh.
one will go over the lower left rib. Again, it would go skin to skin.
Apply
Yeah.
It's
pads.
a family
Insert
show. So I'm
connector.
keep
I love it. Yes, yes, yes.
okay. And
Right.
then just connect the little connector, or many times it's pre-connected. Okay.
Analyzing
So
heart
once
rhythm.
it's on, once it's on the
Do not
patient,
touch the patient.
okay. So again, it would be on the patient. Let me go ahead and get them over here.
Shock advised.
Okay, it's on.
Charging.
Shock advised.
Scary.
State of patient. Deliver shock now. Press the orange button.
Okay, and like TV, everybody clear.
Right.
Clear. And then you would hit the green shock button.
Deliver shock now.
Okay.
Press the
Green
orange
shock
button now.
I turned it off by accident.
Okay. It's okay.
In real life, it doesn't turn
Analyzing
off.
heart rhythm.
Okay, take 2.
Do not touch the patient.
Okay, don't touch the patient.
Mm-hmm.
Clear. Man, let go of his hand.
Shock
Okay.
advised.
Shock advised.
Charging. Stay clear of patient. Deliver shock
Okay.
now.
You
Yeah.
just hit this button right
now.
here.
Little
So we'll
red
go ahead and hit it.
Mm-hmm.
Shock
And
delivered.
then,
Begin CPR.
Oh,
do you hear
Oh.
that metronome? So
yes.
it's coaching me to do CPR. So even if you didn't take a class,
Uh-huh.
it's telling me what to do. Okay. And
Yeah.
when it's ready for another shock,
Mm-hmm.
it will tell me automatically.
Analyzing heart rhythm.
Uh-oh.
Do not touch the patient.
And then it'll go for the next shock. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. And then it would go for the next shock. So it will continue to ebb and flow between CPR with the metronome and
Uh-huh.
then the shock, right? So all you have to do is just be a great listener, which means
Okay.
they're great listeners.
Okay. And I love it. So of course I would have to take that class at least 2 or 3 times. You have repeat offenders with the classes and
Yeah. Ironically, it's good to recertify every 2 years, right? Just to kind of like be part of it. But honestly, some people just take it once and they remember forever because we make it so fun and we play Staying Alive music and, the Rocky song, Eye of the Tiger.
Yes.
So it's so empowering that really one training you tend to remember forever.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to keep that in mind. So
Let's
when
do a Zoom. Let's do a Zoom training, 1 hour. We can get it.
Okay. I'm all for it. I
Okay.
am
All you need is a stuffed animal or a pillow. We're good.
Okay. I do have pillows. I don't have any stuff, but I do have pillows. Oh my gosh. Okay. Now let me ask you this question now on the more serious. So can someone actually hurt someone if they do the AED incorrectly?
Great question. So I always say when you're doing CPR or using your AED, it's impossible to make a mistake because they're already dead, right? You can't hurt a dead person, right?
Okay.
You can't go dead, or deadest.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, right.
And so if you put the AED on and their heart is perfectly fine, then it will say no shock advised.
Oh, gotcha. Right.
But it's still connected to the unit. And so it will become a cardiac monitor.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
So maybe, they're sitting in a chair,
Uh-huh.
they're conscious and talking. I have an AED at my mom's house. My mom is 89 years old. So I taught the caregiver, while you wait for 911, put on the pads and turn it on, and it will say, no shock advised, no shock advised, no shock advised. But it's still sending the EKG data into the unit. So we would work with the person to download the EKG so you can give it to the emergency room.
Gotcha. Okay. Whew, very nice. All right. Now, before I go into my next question, I have something else. We talked about, the AD, the CPR, the Heimlich maneuver. It's like you see this stuff on TV all the time. You see it in the movies, and it looks so. It's like, oh, let's do this. Just like you said with the AED. We've seen it all. But if someone was choking right now, my husband was choking. I'm like, oh my God. I would go old school, beating the chest. But you have to get behind the person, right, and do something, right?
Well, let's go one better. Let's save ourselves.
Okay.
Right? So if you find
Oh,
yourself,
that's a great, yes, because that happened to me recently. I'm like, okay, God, I'm not going out like this.
yeah, exactly. Like chicken bone, come on,
Right,
right?
right,
So if
right.
you find yourself choking,
Mhm.
right, and no, look left, look right, nobody's here to save you. Okay, you're
Right.
gonna stand up and you're
Mhm.
gonna throw your belly button or your tummy where your belly button is, and you're
Uh-huh.
gonna throw it on the edge of a table. Now, what
So you, okay.
this
All
is
right.
a simulator, so this will simulate me choking. But what
Okay.
I'm going to do is, this is my belly button. This is
Okay.
my tummy. But I'm going to literally, let me see if I can do an adjustment. I'm going to literally drop my stomach on the edge of that table.
Okay.
Oh, did you see it come out? It came out. Let me do
Yes,
it.
it came out. Yes.
Okay. Oh, hold on. Something just happened.
Okay.
Cancel. Okay.
Okay, there it is. It's back.
All right. Okay. And so I'm just going to literally hang on to the table and drop. See
Oh,
that? See how it came
wow.
out? So literally it's just throwing your tummy
Oh
right
my
there.
gosh. So
Yeah,
when you're home alone and you
yeah,
start choking, you put your tummy up on the table.
yeah. You just push it, just
Push it.
drop it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And that'll
That is great to know.
yeah.
No,
Now,
seriously. No, seriously. That's great to know. All of this is great to know.
well, if you have, a family member, your child, grandchild, right, somebody else that's choking, right,
Mhm.
then it's the same concept, right? You determine that they're choking, and then all you need to do is just put a fist in their tummy,
Uh-huh.
grab your fist, because again, see how I'm barely above the belly button,
Right.
and then push hard and fast, like a letter J. See that? See how
Oh my gosh. Yes,
Sure.
yes.
I'll do it again because I know it happens so
Wow.
fast, right? So again,
Yeah.
just come around behind them and then
Oh my goodness.
yeah.
Okay. I got that. But I'm still gonna take the training. Oh my God. So much, and visuals are everything. Let me tell you.
Yeah. And isn't this simulator great? Like
It
this is a
is.
simulator.
It
So
really
if
is.
you don't do it hard enough, it won't come out. So it really gives you that experience to get that.
Wow. And you use that simulator, of course, in the training.
Oh
Of course. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Now, and I have to something else. I remember seeing a story. This was years ago where there was a car accident and someone got out to help the person. Then the other person, the victim of the accident, ended up suing the Good Samaritan. Now, so let's talk about legal protections. Um, safety concerns, Good Samaritan laws, which protect bystanders who voluntarily provide reasonable emergency assistance to an injured or incapacitated individual. Now, tell us about that. I mean, if I'm driving by, if I'm trying to help someone, I'm not thinking in legal terms. I'm just trying to help that person and possibly save their life.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really important that the Good Samaritan law, it's a federal law across the US,
Mhm,
and it is there to make sure that we can stop and volunteer. Okay.
mhm, mhm.
So you will not, well, people have a right to sue, right? But the
Mhm.
issue is, can they win in court? So to win in court, make
Uh-huh.
sure when you stop and help someone, make
Mhm.
sure you don't ask for money. Okay.
Okay.
So you
Uh-huh.
don't be like, for 20 bucks, I'll save you.
Right. Because you never know there. You never know. Right.
So don't ask for money.
Mhm.
That's number one. Number two, do the best that you can.
Okay.
Okay. If the
Mhm,
best that you can is you just forgot everything,
mhm,
that's okay.
mhm,
Okay. And the
mhm.
last part is don't be negligent, meaning intentional harm. Okay. Maybe I accidentally break a rib. That's not intentional, right?
Right.
You do CPR, you're going to break a rib. That's not intentional.
Right.
Intentional harm would be I see my ex-boyfriend and I run him over and then I try CPR.
Right.
That's
Which that I've seen though. You see those news stories. It's sad, but yes, it
yeah,
happens.
right. Or intentional harm is I get my jumper cables, connect one side to his chest, the other to my car. That's intentional harm.
That's intention. Right. 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 Don't
But as
do this.
long as and if you pass by someone, I pass accidents all the time and I go, ooh, that looks bad. And I
Right.
keep driving, right? There's no physical reason that you have to stop and help. But if you do, as long as you don't ask for money, do the best that you can, and don't do anything intentionally negligent, the law will protect you.
Okay, good to know. More nuggets. So much
Yeah.
good information here. Now, what would you say to someone who afraid that they'll do the wrong thing? And on the second part of that is it is doing something usually better than doing nothing at all, especially if you're already on the scene there. If you're, if you're in a house or whatever.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on that?
So first, the one thing that every single ageless beauty in your network has is a beautiful voice. Your voice is the strongest tool you have. So use that voice. Use that voice to call 911. If
Okay.
you get there and you panic, you don't remember what to do, just hey, it's going to be okay. I called 911, right? You're going to be okay. Call 911, stay calm, right? And then just talk. My husband was involved in a car accident when our girls were little. They were maybe 3 and 4 years old.
Uh-huh.
And he went through a stoplight and someone ran the stoplight,
Oh,
crashed into him, all the airbags and everything. And as he was like crumpled up in his car, worrying about his two daughters in the back, a lady came and put her hand on his shoulder and said, "Don't move. Don't move. You're going to be okay. We've called 911." And he was like, not having it because he wanted to know about the girls. And she goes, "Don't move. I can see the girls. Oh, they're so beautiful. Hi, sweeties. What are your names?" "Naomi and Mia." "Oh, you guys are so great. We're going to wait here, okay? Because the ambulance is going to get you guys out." And she kept talking. And you know what he said to me in
what?
the hospital when I got there? He goes, "Babe, I have no idea what this lady looks like, but I'm always going to remember what she sounds like."
Girl, oh my God, here we go. Okay, I don't want to mess up my mascara, but
Yeah,
that went beyond the chills. I'm not gonna cry.
yeah, yeah.
I'm very emotional.
So
But
it's really important to use your voice as a tool. And when you don't know anything else, just talking to the person.
mhm,
There's many stories of someone who had a cardiac arrest and went down, and the person didn't know CPR, but they were talking to them. And so one person specifically told me he saw a light, and he heard, it was a yoga class, and he heard the yoga instructor go, "Raj, come back, just stay with us, Raj, we called 911." And he told me he literally felt, whoa, and he stopped going towards the light, and next he was back in his body,
oh my
and they were doing CPR using the AED, and he survived. Um,
Phew.
so
Wow.
use
Wow.
your voice, right? Even if you don't know what to do, right? "Hey, honey, I'm here with you. You're going to be okay. We called 911. Stay here," right? Just keep talking. They can actually hear you.
Wow. That is, oh my gosh, good to know. So much great information. Now, as this is Ageless Glamour Girls. So we have a lot of grandmothers, great grandmothers, aunties, ageless aunties, and we're caregivers. We even, our siblings or our older, adult children. We are in the mix as caregivers, as you know. Now, what should grandparents and caregivers be especially aware of?
Okay. Grandparents and caregivers need to, number one, don't argue with who you're caring for to call 911. Kind of
Okay.
like what happened with
Ooh,
my mom.
yeah.
If they have any unexplained pain, they look pale, something doesn't seem right. Ageless Glamour Girls, we have the best intuition, right?
Mhm,
Use
mhm,
that intuition to call 911,
mhm.
right? Call 911, take a deep breath, unlock your front door, and leave it opened, because that's going to help the fire department. Or if you have a security gate, or if you live in a gated community, get that security gate open, call the security and let them know the ambulance has been called. So stay calm, call 911, and even if the person says, "No, no, don't call," go ahead and make the call.
Wow. Let me tell you right now that what a great point. Go and unlock the door.
Yeah.
When you're panicking, you don't even think that, oh, somebody's going to come in. They're going to have to break down. You don't even think about that.
Yeah.
And like to your point, if you're in a gated community, go unlock the door.
Yeah.
And you just mentioned some of this. For my next question, I was going to say, when a child starts choking, panic can set in very quickly. But now you just broke that down for us. Just talk the youngin through it. Just talk,
Yeah.
talk, talk.
Yeah. And whether it's choking adult or child, like we can all do the abdominal thrust, right? We can all do that to somebody. So, you know, and if you're doing CPR, you saw me with the two arms. That's for an adult. Adults are over 10 years old. So when you're over 10, we use two arms. Get it?
Oh my gosh. What?
Right? Right? And if they're between 1 and 10, then we just use one arm. Right?
Oh my gosh.
Right? And if they're a baby, we'll use two fingers. Okay. So if it's a baby, we'll just use two fingers. So, and I know they're a baby because they can't walk yet. Okay.
Right.
So a baby is two fingers. Toddlers are one arm, and adults over 10 are two arms. Right? Yeah. Yeah. And we all know the song Stayin' Alive. Right? We all know that song, right? So it's staying alive, right? You just have to go with the beat. So there's nothing to be afraid of. It's all empowering, and anything you do is beneficial. If you call 911 or you talk, you do CPR, not one thing is better than the other. The most important is take a deep breath. You got this.
I can see why people love your courses and your classes and you, and the stuff sticks with it. I should have had you alongside all of my high school and college professors and classes.
Oh, thank you.
As a matter of fact, I was just going to ask you a question, my next question, and you already answered. I was going to ask, are there differences between helping an infant, a toddler, or an older child or an adult? And there you have it.
Yeah.
Did you want to add anything to that? But you just answered a ton of that, covered that.
There's nothing wrong if you end up with a baby, right, and you end up using two arms. Remember, they're already dead, so you're not hurting anyone. You cannot make the situation any worse than what it already is.
Got it. Okay. So, and I think you just answered this. I was going to ask, if someone listening forgets anything else, everything about this conversation, what's the one thing they should remember about a choking emergency involving a child?
Yeah. So if they're choking, go ahead and just do the abdominal thrust as hard as you can. If they're unconscious, right, so you want to do that as hard as you can. If they're unconscious and unresponsive, call 911. Drop your two hands in the middle of the chest and just staying alive, right?
Got it.
Right. And I always say to folks, people are like, oh, I'm afraid to go too hard. I'm like, hey, if you gain weight, it's even better, right? if you gain weight, use it.
Oh my gosh, you are too funny. I love it. I love your sense of humor. Love it, love it, love it. All right. Now, a lot of parents, well, not a lot, parents will learn this stuff, but sometimes grandparents don't know it. And if I had grandchildren, I have a great granddaughter, great grandniece, sorry. I don't know. If I had grandchildren or kids, I would want the person who's taking care of them to know this stuff. So do you think CPR and first aid training should be as common for grandparents as it is for parents?
It should. And one, because of the CPR skill, but you know what, more importantly, is to gain the confidence that no matter what happens, you got it. Right? The confidence to call 911 and not doubt yourself.
Right.
That's what I see the most of, is people will doubt themselves. They'll doubt their instinct. No, it's not. They're not really choking, or, oh no, they're not really having a stroke or having a heart attack, And so what the training does, whether we do it by Zoom or we're in person, is give you the empowerment. And I want to make sure that I say that when you take a training, if it's online only,
Mhm.
without the interaction of the physicality,
Uh-huh.
that won't empower you, right? Because
Okay.
you're online, click, 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 right?
Right.
You
Right.
want to be in a situation where you have a live person on the other end of your camera, right? Who's like cheering for you and giving you the metronome. This is it's kind of, I say to people, oh, I took CPR online. I go, okay, if I had you take how to drive a car
Mhm.
online, do you
Mhm.
think you really be ready to get on the freeway?
Mm.
you
Wow.
know and
Right.
that's how CPR is. So you want to make sure, if you do it online, that's fine for content, but you really have to be in a Zoom or in person to really practice, and practice being scared, and then practice being confident.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. And see, I was just about to slide into training, but I just remembered one question, and we're going to come back to that. I just
Yeah.
remembered a question I wanted to ask. What
Okay.
is the most common incidents that you see with young kids, with children?
Right now, the biggest problem we're having with kids is allergic reactions.
Oh,
And
oh, oh,
right. And back in the day, it was an allergic reaction to bumblebees or shrimp, seafood, peanuts,
peanuts.
right? But
Right.
I want your tribe to know the biggest allergy we're having is tree nuts. Nuts grown in a tree, because nuts grown in a tree are almonds, cashews, and we're using almond milk. We're using almond flour. We're using cashew milk. We're using these tree nuts because we're all trying to get away from flour, get away from gluten, right?
Mhm.
But we're finding these kids who are having allergic reactions to these tree nut. So I would say, if they're watching their kids and grandkids, the first time that they have things with almonds, any
Mhm.
tree nuts, the first time they have things like cashews and pine nuts, or Marqueeta, cocoa nuts.
Oh,
A
who knew?
coconut is a tree nut. And a lot of kids have, again, allergies to tree nuts.
Wow. Huh, okay. I remember with mine wasn't a life or death thing.
Yeah.
So never mind that. It was with strawberries, but never mind
Right.
that.
Yeah.
But I outgrew it though. I
Yeah.
outgrew it, which is great. Okay, now I want to get past that. Now back to the training.
Okay.
So for someone who's listening and they're interested but don't know where to start, what's the very first start? I know that the American Red Cross centers across the country offer CPR and first aid and AED
Yeah.
classes, and you guys as well. So, what step, like for me personally, I'm like, okay, I want to learn. I want to learn. I'm going to sign up. And how expensive is it? How long does it take?
Yeah.
Give us the 411,
Yeah.
please.
So there's actually two organizations you could look up. Actually, the first would be the American, well, let's just call them Red Cross, because that's how we all know them, right? So
Okay, right. Yes, yes, yes. Red
there's
Cross.
Red Cross community centers like everywhere.
Mhm.
But you could also go onto the American Heart Association. So the American Heart Association.
Yes.
Go to their website,
Mhm.
American Heart Association. You can put in your zip code to find a training center near you.
Okay.
So American Heart Association, we're part of American Heart, and I love the search function because you can put in a zip code. And actually, their website is heart.org. Super easy, heart.
Yes, yes.
If it's for a group, then
Uh-huh.
we would love to be able to train like any of our listeners who have a group, and we could do that by Zoom. So they could go to our website, which is getice.com. Getice.com.
Nice.com.
Yeah,
Okay, I love that. So outside of your corporate world,
yeah.
with your clients, and when they come to you, they just want their employees to know it. Is it a particular industries or just sometimes companies in general who request your assistance?
Yeah, it's really kind of all over the place. We do have a lot of customers who are required to take training, like the folks who work at your water district, right? Their job is really dangerous, right? Your electricians, right? Their jobs are really dangerous. So usually industries with very OSHA compliant jobs, right? That they
Okay.
have to make sure they're safe.
Right.
But then we have a lot of other clients, like I said, the Golden State Warriors or Bright Horizons, the school districts, where security guards, where they're
Hmm.
like, we want to be proactive
Oh,
to
yeah.
be able to do that. So, but we offer a training here in our Northern California facility every Saturday, and
Uh-huh.
that's open to the public.
Oh,
Yeah, so we have a 30-person classroom here. The public will come, and we get a lot of daycare providers and grandmothers and kids. And we have a program going on for the balance of 2026, where if you are age 25 years old or younger,
uh-huh.
you can take the training for free.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
we want you
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
know.
because yeah, and I read somewhere where it said and training is not expensive.
Yeah, it's like $100, like
Mhm.
typically, and it's a 2-year certification. So
Okay.
you pay
Yeah.
$100 and you're good for like 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And you mentioned, we just talked about the corporations, of course, but do you how much community training do you do? Do you hear from community groups or families? Because you know what I was thinking? I'm thinking this is summer season and we're moving into the family reunion season. I mean, if I was having a family reunion this year, I would want your company there because right along with the let's learn the latest, the newest line dance. Let's take
Yeah,
t-shirts, let's do a photo op, let's do painting class, as part of our activity.
yeah.
Let's do training as part.
CPR.
That's what I want to do. So
Yeah.
do you have that at all with community groups and family unions or in church groups and any other
Yeah.
areas like
We
that?
have a lot of church groups,
Mhm,
where
mhm.
we go in like a Saturday afternoon and, we'll do everybody after church, especially if the church has a childcare component. So we do a lot of church groups. We do a lot of nonprofits. Matter of fact, my favorite nonprofit is a foster adopt nonprofit. And because I'm adopted, me and my
Mhm.
twin brother were adopted. So
Okay.
so I volunteer because if you're doing a foster adopt, then you're going to need to know CPR, right?
Right,
This one
right.
foster adopt is kinship foster adopt, and it's 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 parents adopting their kids.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very deep, it's
Wow.
very emotional, but I try to create a sense of camaraderie amongst all the other grandparents who are
Mhm.
adopting their grandkids because of something that is negative happening in the child's life. So we do a lot of nonprofits like that, and we often volunteer our training and have it at as lowest cost as we can possibly have it.
Wow. Good to know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we have to wrap this up soon, but I do have
I
another.
don't want it to end.
Of course. I have just a few more.
Yeah.
Just a few more. Uh, and you mentioned a story earlier, but I want to ask you before we wrap, is there a story that has stayed with you over the years? And maybe that was that one story, a moment that reminded you why your work matters.
Yes, actually, this just happened. So I talked about the wall of life, right? People who call me to say, oh, I saved somebody from choking, or I performed CPR or first aid or used the defibrillator. So I get lots of stories. But I was just teaching a class literally like 2 weeks ago. As soon as I walked into the client, this woman goes, oh my God, Pam. And I was like, um, 15 years ago, she took my class and was at like a summer concert thing at the park and saved her son from choking. He was 2 years old. Okay. Saved her son from choking. Or he was 3 years old. Save her son from choking.
Um,
And so I was like, wait, what's your name? And then I go, you're on my wall. She goes, what? I go, you're on my wall of life. She goes, I am. I'm like, yeah. And so after the training, she came, came over and came into my office. I showed her her son had just turned 18 years old, getting ready to go to college. And she's looking at the picture. She was taking pictures and selfies because she wants her son. And she's like, if you didn't teach me how to save my son from choking, he probably wouldn't be going to college in the fall.
okay.
I know.
Oh my
So
gosh.
we just hugged and I cried and, I was just like, wow, it just reminds me of why I love my job. I love my job.
What a blessing. We're so blessed to have you. It's like doing what you do. Woo, that story. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm trying to save my mascara.
I
Now,
know.
now we're gonna do a quick round,
Okay.
and for starting off, one thing everyone should know about CPR is
Call 911 first.
Mhm.
Period. Just call 911, drop your hands, and just start singing Staying Alive. But 911 is always first.
Okay. All right. The biggest myth about AEDs is
That it's too hard and I can't do it. But if you can push a button and if you can listen, you got it.
okay. All right. All right. The most common mistake people make is
Not calling 911.
yes, yes, yes. Now, and finally, if someone listening does only one thing after hearing this episode, it should be
Call 911.
oh my gosh.
Well,
And
I actually call 911
Mhm.
and believe in yourself.
Ooh.
Believe in yourself. Don't self-doubt and self-talk, right? Just believe in yourself.
Because you got this.
You got this. You did the training. We just trained.
Right, right, right. And I know I'm going to put, your social media stuff, at the end, but where can people learn more about CPR, first aid, AED training, and the work you're doing?
Yeah. Definitely our website. So getice.com. So getice.com, getice.com. Lots of information on there. They can click on contact us and then happy to call. And like I said, we're starting something. We just had a staff meeting this morning. And for 2027 next year, our goal is to do we want to get into the Guinness Book of World Records and train over right now. How many people can we train in 1 hour in person? And so we want to try to compete for the Guinness. So right now, the record is like 1,120. So we're going to be talking to our customers in order to host it in one of the arenas, probably basketball, and see if we can break the Guinness Book of World Records for most people trained in a CPR session in 1 hour. So that's our goal for 2027.
Wow.
You should fly out if we do it.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, for sure. And as you're talking, I'm thinking we need to have a course here where I'm living. Maybe the Ageless Glamour girls, they want to have something, and where they're living. But I love what you said earlier about a Zoom. We're going to do that, Pam. I'm not kidding you. We are going to do that. Now, and I said the other question was last, but I lied.
Okay.
For someone like me who's never taken a CPR class, what's one thing you'd like them to know before they sign up?
Oh, something they should know before they sign up. When you are asking providers, you probably want to ask, will it be fun? Right? Because you want to pick a provider. It's like traffic school. Like there's traffic school and then there's fun traffic school. You want to find someplace that's going to be fun, that's going to be empowering, right? And I'll just put it out there. Is the training led by a woman?
Thank you. Just saying. No, seriously.
Yeah.
No, you are amazing. Your personality, your energy, of course, your brilliance, your knowledge. I'm like, wow. Yeah, yeah. This is the only class I want to take for me. So, I'm serious because you make it seem so easy, and you take the pressure off. I love that. This has been such an important conversation, educational, empowering, and potentially life-saving, of course. Pam, we so appreciate what you're doing. Thank you so much for spending this time with us.
You're so welcome. It's just such an honor. I want, and make sure anyone who learns anything, and if you save someone, whether it's, today, tomorrow, or 10 years from now, please get back in touch with you or I so we can get you guys on the wall of life.
That's right. That's right. I love that. I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Of course, we hope that we never have to do it, but you just never know. You never know. Now, well, Pam, before we let you go, I should mention to our listeners that you're not just today's guest, but you're also fam. Pam happens to be married to one of my first cousins. What's up, Rick? And I've been so proud to watch the incredible work that you've done over the years. And now it's almost 30 years, 27 years. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for coming on the show and putting this out there. And thank you for doing what you do and sharing your expertise with the Ageless Glamour Girls community. And we will be in touch with you again soon. I'm serious to set up those classes.
Absolutely. No, it's an honor. Thank you. I just had a big birthday, so I'm 59. So I'm wearing it. I'm wearing it.
Spring chicken, baby. Spring chicken. All right. Reconnect very soon. Thank you. Love you. Bye.
Thank you.
Wow, Pam. Thank you again for sharing that great information with our community. And to our listeners, if today's conversation inspired you to learn more about CPR, first aid, or AED training, don't wait. The life you save could belong to someone you love. And thanks for your love and support and for subscribing to the show and the Ageless Glamour Girls YouTube channel. Thank you for following us on social media. Everything is at Ageless Glamour Girls, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and more. And we have a private Facebook group called the Ageless Cafe. Thanks for joining us on that. And thank you for continuing to support our anthology, our Amazon best-selling anthology, Ageless Glamour Girls, Reflections on Aging. And guess what? We're working on volume 2. And you have a story to share. You have a story to share that's going to inspire and motivate other Ageless Glamour Girls on our ageless aging journey. If you want to be part of the next volume, email us at info@agelessglamourgirls.com. That's info@agelessglamourgirls.com. We look forward to hearing from you. And also, don't forget to check out our boutique, the Ageless Glamour Girls Boutique, where we have some fun stuff, t-shirts, beautiful bags, the book is on there as well and other stuff. Again, that's agelessglamourgirlsboutique.com. Now, thank you for everything. And cheers to healthy aging and joyful living. And we'll reconnect again real soon, lovies. Bye-bye for now.